Picture this, a lecture crafted with precision to dismantle the fairy tale of the self-made genius, every detail set to unravel the myth, until a surprise guest steps in, his quiet genius flipping the script in a heartbeat, rewriting the story before our eyes. Have you ever seen someone shatter rock-solid beliefs with nothing but humility and a spark of brilliance too real to ignore? Welcome to Timeless Stories. Drop a comment below. Tell us where you're tuning in from. And if you live for these unexpected turns of destiny, hit that subscribe button to dive into our world of soul-stirring tales. At Centerville University, a buzzing hub of groundbreaking research and restless minds, Professor Sarah Collins was gearing up for what she swore would be her defining moment. A master of sports psychology and applied math, she'd spent weeks sharpening a lecture to pierce the illusion of fame, aiming to prove that society often fawns over celebrity while shrugging off the sweat-soaked grind of true mastery. To her, too many so-called legends were just lucky souls riding waves of privilege, not architects of disciplined genius. That crisp autumn morning, the lecture hall crackled with life. Students spilled into every seat, some sprawling on the steps, their faces glowing with hunger for Professor Collins's signature brilliance. Today's topic burned in her veins, the messy dance of luck, grit, and genius. Behind her, a massive screen flared to life, unveiling a devilish problem she'd forged, a mashup of game theory, stats, and fluid strategy, echoing the wild heartbeat of sports at its peak. Unknown to all, even the professor herself, a shadow slipped through the crowd. Beneath a plain baseball cap and a jacket that screamed, "Nobody special," Michael Jordan had slipped in early. Sure, the world knew him for sky-defying dunks and last-second heroics, but beneath that legend simmered a quiet love for numbers, tactics, and the stubborn art of pushing through. When he caught wind online of a lecture daring to dissect the brains of sports icons, his curiosity ignited. Today, he wasn't here to watch from the sidelines. He was about to ignite a story that would flip every assumption on its head. Professor Collins strode to the podium, her gaze slicing through the room. "Sorry for keeping you waiting," she said, her voice buzzing with fire and resolve. "Today, we're diving into something I've wrestled with for years. We cheer for icons without peeling back the layers, effort, chance, and raw insight that launched them skyward. Some say these stars just stumbled into glory, handed success like a gift. But is that the truth? Or does every victory hide a brilliance we've missed?" Her words hit like a spark, and the students edged closer, hooked. "I've built a challenge that mirrors the chaos of a clutch game, a beast of a problem that'd trip up even the geniuses if they haven't bled for their craft. Today we're testing the hype." She clicked, and the screen blazed with her creation, a wicked equation weaving probability, physics, and split-second strategy, a mind-bender designed to mimic peak performance under crushing pressure. The lecture hall hung in a thick, expectant silence, the kind that presses against your chest, daring someone to break it. No one stirred, no hands shot up, until from the shadowed back row, a single arm rose like a quiet rebellion against the stillness. "I'll give it a shot," came a voice, soft but laced with a steady resolve that rippled through the room. Heads turned, eyes narrowed, catching the faint outline of a figure half hidden beneath a weathered baseball cap. There was something familiar in the way he carried himself, a mystery wrapped in plain sight. Professor Collins, her lips curling into a curious, knowing smile, beckoned him forward. "Please, step up to the board." He moved with a deliberate slowness, each step a quiet drum beat that pulled every gaze tighter. Though his voice barely rose above a murmur, his presence filled the space like a storm gathering on the horizon. "You can call me MJ," he said, the words humble yet firm, landing with a weight that sparked a flicker of recognition. Those initials, MJ, danced in the air, teasing memories of a towering legend, though no one dared speak it aloud just yet. Marker in hand, he turned to the whiteboard, and the room held its breath. What followed was nothing short of mesmerizing. Every student sat frozen, eyes wide, as MJ sliced through the tangled equation with the grace of a master craftsman. His hands flew across the board, chalk dust swirling like a faint halo around him, turning cryptic symbols into a story of logic so clear it felt alive. But he didn't stop at the answer. No, he twisted the problem into something extraordinary, unveiling a clever tweak that didn't just solve it, but revolutionized it, shaving critical resources with a stroke of ingenuity no one saw coming. It was as if he'd cracked open a hidden door in the math itself, revealing a brilliance that hummed with purpose. Professor Collins stood rooted, her unshakable confidence trembling at the edges. She hadn't braced for this. A mind so sharp it cut through her expectations like a blade, leaving her theories dangling in midair. The room, once a cathedral of quiet anticipation, now buzzed with a restless murmur, a tide of awe and disbelief swelling among the seats. "That caught me off guard," she admitted under her breath, steadying herself with a faint smile. "MJ, tell us, how did you unravel it like that?" He paused, turning to face them, a faint grin tugging at his lips. "Life's a game of variables. Whether you're on a court or staring down a problem like this, you study the pieces, you shift your stance, and you hunt for that edge, tuning a jump shot or outsmarting a defense. I pulled from basketball, the endless drills, the do-or-die seconds, the losses that hit like a punch. Every one of those taught me to look past what's in front of me, to see the play no one else does." His voice was calm, but it carried the weight of a man who'd walked through fire and come out stronger. A reverent hush blanketed the hall as his words sank in. This wasn't just math. It was a confession, a tapestry of precision and pain, of numbers woven with the sweat of struggle and the thrill of breaking through. It was a quiet roar that behind every iconic moment lies a saga of relentless drive, of lessons carved from the wreckage of defeat. Professor Collins, caught between admiration and the sting of her own misjudgment, leaned into the moment. "Maybe I've been looking at this wrong," she said, her voice softening with a raw honesty. "Success isn't some neat equation of luck or privilege. It's the fire to keep sharpening your edge, to rise from every fall, and to stay grounded whether you're winning or picking yourself up off the floor." MJ nodded, his eyes steady. "Exactly. People love a clean story, success in a box. But talk to anyone who's stared down the impossible, and they'll tell you it's the grind that shapes you. My road? It was rough, full of doors slammed in my face, doubts that clawed at me, failures that left scars. But each one handed me a lesson, and every uphill fight made me hungrier, sharper, better." Her gaze met his, glowing with a respect that hadn't been there before. "That's the real takeaway here," she said, her voice rising with conviction. "Whether it's cracking an equation or rewriting your life, it's not just about the spark you're born with. It's the stubborn chase for something greater, the refusal to quit, that turns us into who we're meant to be." The lecture's tight script unraveled into something wilder, richer, a living conversation about what genius really means. Students, lit up by MJ's quiet fireworks and his unguarded truth, started firing questions into the air. How do you weigh talent against sweat? What role do mentors play? Does believing in yourself outweigh the stumbles? The room turned into a pulsing arena of ideas, voices ricocheting off the walls, touching on failure's brutal lessons, the lifeline of guidance, and the fierce, fragile power of self-belief in the long haul toward greatness. One student, Emma, raised her hand. "Professor Collins, do you think that our society often overlooks the silent struggles behind big successes? That we celebrate the results without ever recognizing the deep work behind them?" The professor smiled warmly. "Exactly, Emma. Often we admire the trophy without understanding the countless hours of practice, the sacrifices, and the moments of doubt that precede it. It's a lesson in humility and a reminder that every achievement is the culmination of many small, sometimes unseen, victories." MJ added, "On the court, every point is hard-earned. Every game is a battle against not just the opposing team, but against your own limitations. That same mentality applies off the court as well. Whether you're solving a problem in mathematics or navigating the complexities of life, Every step forward is a triumph over your previous self. The room buzzed with energy as the conversation delved deeper into personal experiences and the universal truths of perseverance. The atmosphere was charged with an authenticity that few lectures could evoke. Even Professor Collins, who prided herself on her objective analysis, found herself moved by the personal stories shared that day. After the class, as the students filed out, many stayed behind to speak with MJ and the professor. A group huddled around, discussing how the intersection of sports and academia revealed unexpected parallels between seemingly disparate worlds. Some confessed that they had always admired Michael Jordan for his athletic prowess, but now they saw an entirely different side, a man who embodied resilience, critical thinking, and a relentless drive to improve. Before leaving the hall, Professor Collins addressed the class one final time. Today's experience reminds us that success isn't dictated by a single factor. It's a mosaic, a blend of discipline, hard work, creativity, and yes, sometimes even luck. I encourage each of you to embrace your struggles, learn from every setback, and never let preconceived notions limit your potential. In that moment, the message was clear. True genius, whether on the basketball court or in the realm of academia, is a multifaceted journey, a journey where every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and every failure is a stepping stone toward excellence. As twilight settled over Centerville University, the tale of that unforgettable lecture refused to stay confined within its walls. It spilled out, alive and electric, into the world beyond. Michael Jordan's quiet, earth-shaking moment wasn't just a counterpunch to Professor Collins' neat little theory. No, it was a living, breathing saga, a testament to the fire of perseverance, the understated might of humility, and the beautiful chaos of every soul's singular climb to the top. A journey so unique, it demands to be celebrated. So what do we carry away from this whirlwind of a day? Crack the mold. We're too quick to shove people into boxes. Sports legend, quiet nobody, take your pick. Peel back the surface, and you'll find brilliance flickering where you least expect it, ready to surprise you. Dance with the storm. Every fall, every bruise, every time life kicks you down, it's not just part of the ride, it's the heartbeat of it. Through the rough stuff, we stumble into wisdom, stretch into strength, and rise as something fiercer. Honor the hustle. Greatness isn't some shiny gift handed out at birth. It's forged in the sleepless nights, the relentless push, the dogged will to keep going when the odds laugh in your face. Tell your tale. When you dare to bear your struggles, the raw, messy truth of your fight, you don't just stand taller. You spark a wildfire, lighting the way for others to chase their dreams with reckless, fearless abandon. If this story has stirred something inside you, if it reminds you that every challenge you face is an opportunity to discover your hidden potential, then share this message with someone who needs a little extra encouragement today. Perhaps challenge yourself to look beyond the surface and appreciate the hard work behind every success story. Thank you for joining us on this journey through unexpected brilliance and heartfelt revelations. If you were moved by this tale, please consider spreading kindness and inspiration today. Like, comment, and, most importantly, subscribe to Timeless Stories for more narratives that reveal the true essence of perseverance, humility, and the triumph of the human spirit. Remember, every legend has a story that isn't written in the headlines. What will your story be?